Welcome to edotgdot and friends. My name is Elden Killian. Today we are going to be talking about games that I have played 20 times or more. This is an ongoing series, and today we'll be talking about Catan. Today my special guest is my good friend and brother, Nick Killian.
Hello. There you go.
That's it?
What else do you want me to say, man?
I thought you had a...
Let's do this. Oh, no. Let's just go.
You're just going to go?
Yeah, you can do it. The title thing on the bottom.
Yeah, I forgot. All right. Today we're going to be talking about Catan. Just quick, some tail of the tape, I guess. Catan was published in 1995 under the name Settlers of Catan. Recently, it has been renamed and branded as Catan. It has sold 32 million copies sold, according to NPR, worldwide since then. Awards, it's won all the awards that you can imagine: the Spiel des Jahres, the Deutscher Spielspreis, the People's Choice Award, Origins Hall of Fame, awards from all over the country. It is currently ranked number 385 on Board Game Geek with a rating of 7.2.
Is that good?
There's like 19,000 games ranked. Almost 20,000.
So this is the 385 top game.
Yeah. Oh. It used to be higher. It's kind of fashionable to hate on it. Right. Anyway, I rank it number 233 out of 657 on my all-time ranking list that I just did in October. And I've played this game north of 60 times. I have 61 recorded plays. I started recording my plays 10 years ago.
You've only played 61 times
in the last 10 years. How many times do you think you've played it?
Not that much.
No.
I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest.
You don't know?
It's the only game I play.
So. Right. All right. So that's the game. Quickly, let's talk about what the game is. On your turn, essentially, you are rolling dice, collecting resources, trading those resources with your people that you're playing with or the game, and then you're building stuff with the goal of scoring 10 points.
Right.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's basic, right? Yeah,
that's basically the game. I mean, there's some other stuff that's going on. But for some reason, this game has taken off and has enthralled the world over the last, how long is that, 25 years?
Yeah, I just remember all of a sudden everyone started playing it. Like out of nowhere.
When do you think that was? Do you remember?
I want to say probably 2008 or 9, right?
Yeah.
It came into my peripheral, and I'm not a gamer, right? So
right.
Or what do you call yourselves? Board geekers?
Sure. Board gamers.
Isn't gamers for like the video nerds or whatever?
Yeah, if you say gamer, everybody thinks you're playing board or video games.
So what's the correct? Board gamer.
Board gamer.
Board gamer?
I say gamer. Board gamer sounds too dumb. But anyway, your first time was like, what, 12 years ago you're thinking you played it?
Yeah, probably. I can't.
Yeah, that feels about right. Because I think we started playing about the same time. Probably 12, 13 years ago.
I feel like that's when it entered into our family.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you probably taught us, right?
So I remember the first time I played it was at a family gathering. We were at Chuck and Laura's house in Quincy when they lived in Quincy.
Okay.
And it was, I don't know, Easter. So I don't know what it was. Some big gathering. But there were a lot of people there. And I remember there were 3 or 4 people playing in the corner. Nephews and nieces. I want to say it was like Destry and those guys.
Yeah.
Or something. Anyway, they were playing it, and I watched it, and then I jumped in on the game later. That was the first time I played it.
Oh, okay. So it was
Does that sound familiar to you?
You probably taught me later, because I feel like I played it here.
Okay. That was your first time? Yeah, probably. I can remember before... I forgot to put our...
But I'm sure it was a family gathering that we...
Yeah.
Because there's no other reason why I would think.
There we go. Trying to get the picture on the screen. Yeah, so I did this. Anyway. Yeah, so we played it a lot, family gatherings. Do you feel like you played it a lot?
Oh, yeah.
For a couple years, it was like what we did.
There was about 2 or 3 years it was just like every time we got together, we were playing this game, and we played it for hours.
Yeah, like multiple times in a row. I remember multiple times, like we had multiple copies going at the same time.
Yeah. I remember I had a streak of like 3 in a row one time, and I remember talking a lot of trash, or how much trash you can.
You always talk a lot of trash.
Well, yeah.
That's what you do.
That's fun, right?
Right. That's what makes the game fun, right?
Yeah. If you can't talk trash, then why do it? That's my belief, I guess.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we played this a lot. I remember the games that we used to play a lot before this. Like we did a lot of like the Scrabble.
The Speed Scrabble.
The Speed Scrabble. Did you ever get on like Empire Builder when that was? We played that a ton for.
That one's too long, right? Like,
yeah, it's a long game.
I probably played it once or twice.
Yeah, I remember playing that like that was like every family gathering. There was a group of us that played Empire Builder.
Right.
And then anyway, but this kind of took over all that. And that's kind of what we all did for a long time.
Yeah, I think I just remember the first time I played. I didn't like, you know how you always do, you give us the rules, like you always read the rules to us or whatever. Right? And I remember not like paying attention, but then like after the first game, I got, like you get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not a hard game.
It's probably one of the easiest games anyways.
Yeah. There are probably more rules than the average game that we play.
Right.
But it's pretty intuitive once you get going. Pretty simple. Like I said, like the game is you roll the dice, you get your resources, trade them, build stuff.
Right.
There's only like 5 things you can build.
Yeah. I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the game. So anyway, so what makes you want to go back and play Catan? Because you still play it. It's like the only game that you'll play, really.
Right now, there's a couple of games that you could play, like Quirkle,
right,
Catan, and like Speed Scrabble. You have to think of words, obviously.
Right.
But Catan is the one where you don't have to think at all. Now, you know what I mean? Like you played enough.
Yeah.
You know the basic strategies enough.
Yeah.
To where you don't really have to think, and you just you do.
And that appeals to you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't like thinking that much.
Come the other way. I like to play games because they make me think a little bit.
Right.
And that's probably why I don't like Catan as much now.
I think,
but having said, I'll play it right now if you want.
Well, the difference, right. The main difference I'm getting, because how I can't be this game board guy because I don't have the patience for it. Like all these new games that you like have me try or whatever.
Right.
I don't have the mental capacity to like want to keep, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Whenever you explain things, I don't listen to it because I learn how to play while we're playing. Right. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'll catch it here and there. I'm just like, I just want to start it. And, maybe, and if it doesn't catch my interest in that, in that first one, I probably won't play it again.
Yeah.
Quirkle, you don't have to think at all. You know what I mean? Like you get your tuner or whatever.
Yeah.
And this, whatever. So like learning new games isn't fun for me because I don't have emotional.
Do you ever play Rummy Cub with Mom and Dad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. You don't have to think.
Yeah,
it's just there's no strategy, is there?
I mean,
if there is,
I don't know strategies.
I don't do it at all.
There's tactics, I guess.
Right.
Maybe some low level strategy in Rummy Cub, but yeah. So anyway, so in this section is where we want to talk about some epic memories. Do you have any specific memories?
The memory I have, I think it was you. I want to say maybe Joe and his wife. We were up at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
It had to have been like, and we just kept playing and playing. And the longer we played, like the dumber, like all the jokes were, the same, every time you said wood, you're like, you giggle or whatever. I don't know how many times we played, but it had to have been
a bunch.
At least 10.
Yeah.
At least.
I was going to say, I say I played it 61 times. That's how many times I documented that I played it. I probably easily twice as much.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That first couple years that we were playing it, I probably played it 60 times in 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember being delirious and just like trying to rush through games, but like even after we're done, we're like, one more,
yeah, you want to play again? Yeah. Is this a cool like custom board on the picture I found?
I always thought I've seen those things, and I've always like, oh, I'd do, but then
why?
I mean, yeah, who cares? I don't want to spend $300 on, even though it looks cool.
Yeah,
and I get the appeal of it.
Yeah.
I have zero desire. The one thing that I don't know if you're gonna have a slide for it or whatever, but the one thing that like, do you remember like I remember first playing and what we did was we turned the numbers over so it was blank.
Yeah.
And we just threw the numbers around on each tile.
Yeah. We used to do that a lot at the beginning.
That was fun. I remember being like, because that was like the stress of like, oh, I hope I get good numbers.
Right.
And then you have a 2, and you're like,
that's kind of a fun way to play.
I remember doing that, and then you're like, no, we should just play it how it is, like, and they go in a certain spot, right?
We used to randomize the numbers a lot. Like, even if we were looking at them, it was always like all over the place.
Right, yeah.
And you get those awesome spots that had like 2 8s and a 6 or whatever.
How's it now? I haven't played it for a while. So you have the tiles, and then it's like A, B, C.
The little numbers have a number on them or a letter on them, and you go A, B, C, D around the board. But it spaces them out so that you don't get like awesome spots and terrible spots.
Right. I remember that was fun for a short while, and then once we did it the real way, I remember that just being like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
It makes
that's more strategy.
It makes it a better game,
right?
Like,
because the other way is just all luck, right?
Did you play that one time? Maybe we'll talk about this later. With Parrish, and Parrish did not draw a resource for like 45 minutes.
I don't think
we'll
so.
We'll talk about that later,
hilarious.
like why the game's wrong,
right?
And that was kind of, I think we played it wrong, or we set it up. It was probably one of those early times,
right?
But yeah, Parrish is just like going around the circle and like nothing. You got anything, Parrish? I got nothing to trade.
That's pretty fun.
It couldn't have been very fun for him.
Yeah, I don't remember the specific stuff like that, but
yeah,
I could see how that would be.
What's your favorite? Fun. What's your favorite way to win? I mean, there's only one way to win and get 10 points.
But. Sure, but the best is when you have 9 points and you have enough for what's the resource card? Not resource. What's the
what do they call it?
The card
development cards.
Yeah, you get a development card and you pick up a victory. That's the best. You have 9, you have nothing else to do, but you could get a development card.
And everybody knows it.
Right.
You buy a development
card. So you're
card.
You get the development card and you look at it and, and then you flash it. It's the best.
Yeah.
That has to be the best.
I think that is the best. I even like it better, like if you already have one that has a victory point and now everybody knows that you have it, it's just hanging out there. And then you buy another one and you get the 2 points for the super surprise.
Oh, yeah, right. That's good. But if you're not flipping that over, it's obviously a victory card.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Why wouldn't
I don't know. You're right. It's always a victory card. I like to think I'm tricking you guys, though.
Right. Yeah. Unless it's like, if it could be an army guy that you don't care about. If you're not going for the army, for the 2-point army card, whatever that thing is, then I could say
the robber hasn't been hanging out in your spot, so why use it?
Yeah, right.
All right. So you said you wanted to talk about interactions and what kind of players you like to play with and what kind of players you don't like to play with.
Did I say that?
Yeah, it was on your list.
Oh,
I kind of paraphrased it probably a little bit.
Right.
You ever play with Baden?
No.
Where he puts all of his cards face up all the time.
I kind of like that.
It's like, you want to trade with me? This is what I have. I'm not going to mess with you. This is what I have. He never wins, though.
I think there
is some strategy to keeping some things close to your chest.
Yeah. I do. I think what I had in mind when I thought about that is just the people that take too long on their turns.
Oh, so the negative part of it.
Yeah, it's just like you take too long because you should know what you're doing immediately.
Yeah,
you know what I
to
mean?
do.
Until
to build something.
Obviously, until like the later rounds where you like, maybe I could get to 10.
Yeah,
I get that part. But like when you're like, no one will trade with me, and then, you know what I mean? Like, I really need a wood, and then don't move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like she who shall not be named.
Sure, Yeah.
The 5-minute turn of just begging everyone.
Yeah, dude, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
I don't like the couples that in cahoots.
Oh yeah, it's the worst.
The
worst.
Right.
The absolute worst.
But I think, that's about it. But yeah.
One time I had a really
fast.
I had a really awful play one time.
Yeah.
We played 6-player with Cities and Knights. Okay. And this was at my game group.
Okay.
And somebody who was playing was like trying to play another game on their iPad the whole time.
Yeah.
Not paying attention, being really loud. Just that's not Catan specific. She was always that. But you got to be engaged. You got to be paying attention to what's going on.
You can and you can't. With Catan. I could look at my phone, you know what I mean? And like, when it's my turn, I do what I do. You know what I mean? You don't have to be that involved.
Yeah, you're not like 100% engaged all the time.
Right.
But you do kind of have to pay attention. People are trading.
I mean, those are better players that way, obviously.
Also, I just like the people who it's like you're trying to trade and they just don't say anything.
Because you can't trade. Do I do that? I think I do that.
Maybe.
No, I'm pretty honest
I'm not thinking about you, but it's like, just say no. It's like, I'm not, or I like to say, I have nothing to trade.
Oh, I always, okay.
You
even if you're asking for wood and I have 5 woods and I don't want to get rid of them, I was like, I don't have any.
Yeah, and that's fine. But you responded. Like some people don't respond. It's like, well, I didn't want to trade. It's like, just say no, and then I can move on. I think that you're thinking about it, and now we're just at a stalemate here for a little while anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I dislike. Anyway, expansions.
Yeah.
Which expansions have you played with?
Is the one on the screen is the Seafarer one, right?
Seafarers. That's like a digital implementation, so it looks funny, but.
Okay, so that's the one that you like travel to different islands. Yeah, this actually looks
like it's maybe Cities and Nights as well.
Yeah, it's a little. Anyways, I like that one. I thought that was kind of cool to like go into different islands or whatever.
Like, but I like because the Seafarers has like different maps, and some of them are like more exploration than others. Right. And some of them like have big islands and little islands.
What's that America one? The Pilgrim thing, right?
Or the settlers
or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that one. Once you get used to it, you're making trains, right? That one.
Yeah.
That's the American one.
That one's different. Like the goal in that game is different.
Right.
But it still feels the same.
Yeah, I like it, but it's just, the original one works fine for me. Yeah. I'll play those ones. I don't know this Europe one that you have on here. I don't even know what
I've only played that one once. It's sort of like the Settlers of America.
Right.
It's like you have a merchant and you're moving them around and doing stuff. There's a couple of newer expansions I haven't tried yet.
The Game of Thrones one?
I have not played that one.
So I think it was Shanna that we played with. And we had no idea, like, the whole wall part of it.
Right.
I think the first time we played it, we were just guessing. And we didn't.
I remember I read the rules for you guys, but I couldn't play. I had to leave.
Okay,
so I explained it to you really fast, and I walked away.
Yeah. We did not get it.
No.
Yeah, we didn't understand.
We should try that again. It did look interesting.
I was talking to her, and I think she actually figured it out.
Okay.
So
it looked interesting.
I wouldn't mind playing that one again.
But. Cities and Nights is my favorite way to play. I haven't played that way for a long time because I don't own it. And
I actually can't remember that one at all.
It's the one where you have the little tokens. The knights are, instead of having cards, they're like little tokens you have. Then you can build like walls around your cities to protect them.
Yeah, okay.
And every once in a while, the barbarians come. And you have to fight them off.
Is that where you kind of have to play together then?
Yeah, you kind of have to play together a little bit. It's sort of the same idea with the Game of Thrones. Right. Kind of borrows that same idea.
Yeah.
Have you ever played the card or the dice games?
Nah. I don't think so.
There's a Struggle for Catan, which is like a 2-player card game. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the board game.
I mean, I think just the original is fine with me. I play the American one with Chuck, right? Like, that's one he likes.
Yeah, Chuck likes the
So I'll play that, but, I think the original is just fine. I like just the 10-point.
Yeah.
Not thinking about things, just doing it. Trading if you have to. Whatever.
So the reason I like Cities and Nights so much is it has like that tech tree, the little book thing that you flip over, and you have you get like extra powers during the game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you have the extra resources.
All right, I might have to play that one again because
it's been a while since I've played it. Definitely would like. And Seafarers is fun. Yeah, I have like a little mini expansion that I've never played. I needed like $3 on an order to get free shipping.
Yeah,
and so but it's like you can get oil as a resource, but if you use too much oil, like it ruins the island and everyone loses. I don't know.
That's interesting.
It's weird. There's a bunch of little things like that. But
yeah,
fun stuff. What are your favorite things to say while playing Catan? I know.
Every time you like build a city, We built this city. You know that
on rock and roll.
Is it rock and wood or whatever, or what makes a city? I can't remember.
Wheat
and or yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I remember watching what's that stupid show, the nerd show, the
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory, and they were playing the Catan.
Yeah.
And every time they said wood or something, like the guys would laugh except for Sheldon or whatever.
Because he didn't get.
Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's wood for sheep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't even look at that. I thought that was
one. Yeah.
I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, this is a bigger. That's when I realized like it was a bigger game.
Yeah.
Because I, I'm not a gamer or whatever. So
right.
I just thought Catan was like just the stupid game that our family played,
Yeah.
And then when I saw it on that show, I was like, oh, all right. I think, okay.
Yeah.
I get it now,
Like of like the hobby games, it's got to be the best selling one ever.
Okay.
Like Monopoly is way up in the stratosphere, but
right.
like when you get like the gamer games like Catan, there's a couple others, but this is probably the
so
best
Catan is probably the game that
it's the Monopoly
the people that
gamers.
Okay, so like so people that aren't into games,
serious gamers
don't like that game.
Don't like it anymore.
Okay.
Now it's like cool to hate it.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
And it is. It's kind of an older game, so
right.
like there's newer stuff that I think does things better.
Sure.
But yeah. What's the other thing that you say all the time when you build the roads?
I really.
It's like
I can't
building a road to nowhere or whatever.
Where are you going? Nowhere.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because your roads go nowhere.
Right, they're just going.
So until you like connect them, but you don't even connect them sometimes. You just
right.
make the longest road to nowhere. Who cares?
Yeah.
But that's how you do the 2 rows to make another settlement.
Yeah.
Until you get to I guess you're always trying to go to a port, right? Mainly.
I mean, ports are good.
I think that's the strategy I always do. I always I build inward and then go out to the ports.
Don't you love it?
But then it's like it's still nowhere.
When you get that port where it's like the wheat port or whatever, and it's on like wheat.
Oh yeah, right.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
I hate when I miss it too. It's like because you get in a hurry and you're not paying attention. It's like damn it.
What's fun? Weird thing is like I don't use the ports anymore. Oh, yeah. Like I remember making that like one of my main strategies early on, and then after a while I'm just like whatever, like. Mm-hmm. It's not a thing I really think about anymore, unless you're like you said, if the resource is on that, I get it. But I don't really go that strategy anymore. Huh? Man, I haven't played this in a while. I should probably play it.
I actually wanted to play it before we recorded. That's why I brought the game.
Oh, right.
But anyway, whatever. It didn't work out.
Lost time. Get it.
What's the not so fun stuff? What don't you like about the game?
The main, I think. You could. One of the things I dislike is early on you could tell you're not going to win.
Yeah,
and that's so like you're basically wasting an hour while
yeah,
your number's not getting hit
unless your rolls like drastically improve. Like you're done.
And it's very like once the first player gets a city, and then the second player, and then you're the fourth one without a city,
right? And
you're just like. I'm definitely not going to win this.
Yeah.
Unless I put all my cards into the development.
But
you know what I mean?
You got to pivot.
That's the main thing that's wrong with it for me.
I don't like it with 5 and 6 players.
I don't think I have 5. Yeah, I don't. I probably done it a couple times, but
I can't remember the last time I think I just the last time I played was that time with Cities and Nights. It was so terrible. I just refused to play.
Right.
It's like play, get 2 copies of the game and play. Split up.
Right.
Because 3 players fine.
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Have you ever tried to do 2 player?
No,
it doesn't really work.
It's always been I think I've always just done 4, to be honest. Maybe I've done a couple times like 5 or 6, but
yeah. I don't know. One time we tried to play it was like a 6-player Cities and Nights and Seafarers combined. Oh, that was rough.
Do they shorten
It was long.
They shorten the.
Yeah,
like it's to 8, right, or 12.
Well, I think when you Cities and Nights, you play to 12, but you start with an extra point.
Gotcha.
And you can. It's been a little while since I've done it, but yeah, that sounds right. You start with an extra point, and you can get points other ways too.
Yeah,
it's a little faster.
I just noticed your thing here, but like I said, like whoever we're playing with that one time about not wanting to use the robbers at all.
Yeah.
That's dumb. You know what I mean? Like the whole point. That's how you stop people from winning is using the robber. You know. So I don't know. House rules of like not using it. That
I hate when the robber hits on me.
Well, sure,
but it is an important part of the game. I think. I think playing without the robber is dumb. One time I played with a family, and they had a house rule where you could use other people's ports if you paid them. Like
Interesting.
You give them a resource, and then you can use their 2-for-1 port.
Actually,
it was weird, but it wasn't awful.
Yeah.
I'd never play like that again, but I thought that was weird.
Yeah. I don't.
I'm kind of I don't really house rule very many games. I
actually don't like
to go by the rules.
My favorite way to play is not helping anybody and just trying to win on your own. You know what I mean?
You don't like to trade?
Barely trade. Like unless you can get an easy trade, like, hey, I need this, and someone actually is like, oh yeah, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'm like,
that's interesting because I think the other way around. Like I'm a wheeler and dealer. It's like I'll offer a bad trade because it helps me, and maybe I'm overpaying for it, but I'm getting what I need. You know, and so I'm like, yeah. What do you need? I got it.
Right.
You know.
I remember also like once you realize you're going to lose and you're like just want the game over with, you'd like, oh yeah, take my wood even though I need it. Let's just get this game over with. You know, that's kind of a not fun strategy for the other players, right? Yeah.
We call it king making in the hobby.
Yeah, right. The thing that annoys me the most is when somebody, it's not really annoying. It's a great strategy, but it's kind of a dirtbag move. But when you trade all your resources out, and then you present the good and plenty. What's it called?
Monopoly.
Good and plenty. Is that like a candy?
Yeah.
Right. What's the one?
Monopoly. Yeah.
So you show that, and then you get all those resources back.
Yeah, I think you feel like you only pull that off once in a group.
Yeah. Once I got like,
then you sniff it out. Oh yeah. I go. Ooh, boom.
Once I got hip to it, I was like, oh, this is. You look for it. And
it's glorious.
It hasn't happened,
right? Though. Yeah.
It hasn't happened a whole lot, but. I just remember the first time it happened or something. I can't remember. Maybe someone was telling us about it.
I think I saw Spence do it one time where he had like 12 ore and he was just like, hey, I'll give you 3 ore for that. And he's like, I give it all back.
That could be it, I guess.
Great movie. I think it was the one time I saw it pulled off like really well.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes I'll get away with like 2 or 3 or whatever. But
yeah. Have you ever tried the strategy of just like thinking that 8, 6, and 5 wasn't going to hit a lot, and like try to go for the 10s and the.
I mean,
the
mathematically, it doesn't make sense,
right? For sure. But I remember doing it one time, but I think it was like out of just everyone else picked, so I had to do that. And I remember 10 hitting like a bunch, and I was just like breaking it in. And I remember winning it one time like that, and I tried it again. Obviously, it didn't work, but like.
I feel like I always try to get as many numbers as I can on that initial setup.
So instead of like doubling up on 8s.
But I end up doubling up on the 8s and stuff or whatever I end up doing that too a lot just because it works out.
Yeah.
But I feel like I get burned more often.
Yeah.
Like more often, like you just don't get those 8s rolled. One thing that some people do is they use a dice deck. It's like a deck of cards that has all the dice combinations.
Okay.
In the perfect distribution that they would be.
Okay.
Like, in a regular distribution, like 7 gets rolled 7 out of 36 times. Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
6 or 7, whatever it is. And so there's 6 of them in there.
Okay.
And then you just you shuffle them up, you flip the cards.
Nope, I don't like it.
And then usually, like, you don't, like when it gets like the bottom 5, you shuffle them all up, so it's not perfect.
Nah, I don't like that.
No?
No.
I've never tried it. I've heard of people doing it.
Yeah. I need the dice. I need the luck. Because ultimately, it is luck. There's strategy.
Yeah.
But it's mostly luck.
Yeah, you play the odds and then hope the odds go in your favor. The real Hunger Games thing.
That sounds dumb to me, the card thing. Maybe I would like it if I played a lot, but I don't know.
I don't know if I would like it. In fact, I think there's an official deck you can buy that does that.
Nah.
Anyway.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Anything else that's wrong with it?
Nah, I think
That's it.
I don't know. Was there something else? I don't remember.
I don't know.
Maybe I wrote something down, but
No, I think I got all the stuff that you wrote down in the slideshow. All right. Final thoughts. Is it your favorite game of all time?
Nah, man, that's tough to say. It's the funnest to play with family and people you could joke around with, and I would say that. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the game. If you pulled it out every time, I'd play it. But if you're like, well, I want to teach you a new game, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. That one game that you taught, Azul, I think it was called.
Azul.
That was fun, right?
Yeah.
Am I thinking of the right one? Anyways,
everyone likes that one.
So, like, every once in a while, you bring a game and whatever. But for the most part, if we're gonna play Settlers, I'll play it just because
you know it.
Yeah, I know it. It's easy. It's fun. But
yeah. So me as a gamer, I'm kind of like post Catan.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't ever need to play it again, but I will gladly play it.
Right.
With you or anybody else in the family that wants to play it because it is a good game. I have a good time playing it.
I feel like everybody knows it too.
Yeah.
Like we're not explaining rules to people,
right.
which is the best, right?
Yeah.
I love with new people.
Rules.
You do, right?
So
you have the patience for it. I don't I can't do it at all.
It's hard though, like with people like you and Chuck, like you just don't want to listen to rules. You just want to play.
Right.
And like my brain is like, I get that.
Right.
And I get that's how you're going to learn the game. But it's like, in my brain, I'm like, there are things you need to know before we start.
I think I'm okay with losing at the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm okay with losing if I don't know what's up.
Yeah, and I think that's healthy.
And then learn, right.
But
I don't know, man.
I don't know, just like, it's hard for me to be like, no, you need to know that this does this. And that's why I have to explain some things to you before the game starts. But, and other people... Yeah. And I have other people I try to do that with, like just a quick start. Say, I'm going to explain the game as we're going. Like, oh, you didn't explain this.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't applicable until now.
I do want to.
And you didn't want to know all the rules.
Right. Yeah, I just don't care, I guess.
Yeah.
Does every set have that one set that has like the defected city that has the.
I don't know.
The thing chopped off? Or is that just one of our sets? It was like a defected dice.
Yeah.
I remember every time I look at it, I'm just like, how does that get through?
The set that we play with all the time is actually missing a couple pieces. Like one of the colors doesn't have enough roads.
Oh.
Which comes into play sometimes. They actually have these really cool, these brand new hexes.
Yeah.
That you put all the game pieces in it. And they have a little slot for everything.
Oh, okay.
And they have this cool little dice tower thing. You like holds the dice, but then you like take it out and it like has a magnet thing that rolls up. You drop the dice in it and they come out.
That's kind of cool. Do they have like
money?
Different versions of it like that are super hard and like super complicated? Or is like the Knights one is
of the ones I've played, like Cities and Knights
is that the most complicated? Yeah.
But I don't know. There's actually there's a couple of like those like geography ones I've never played. There's some newer expansions I haven't. They have like a Barbarians expansion I haven't tried out.
How many
there's a lot.
Probably some I've never heard of then.
Yeah, there's probably some I've never heard of.
Crazy.
There's like a Starship one. There's a Star Trek one.
Ugh, no, thank you. I can't. I mean, if it's the same, whatever. But
it's basically the same.
If there's some weird like what's it? Spock? Is that Dr. Spock? No, right?
Maybe. No, Dr. Spock's the baby guy.
The Spock guy, the nerdy.
Yeah, Spock. But Dr. Spock is the baby doctor. Writes the books about babies.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
If it has some nerdy thing like that, like some rule that Spock could only do,
I think the Star Trek. I haven't played it, but I think you get a captain, and you have like a little superpower, but you only get to use it once. I think, and then you have to turn it in.
That's dumb.
In fact, I think doesn't the Game of Thrones have that one too?
Maybe. I don't know. Like, we didn't play it right. The one time I played it, so I have no idea.
Gave up and played it.
I'm pretty sure we gave up because we were not. Once we figured out that the way we were, the wildlings were coming or whatever, we were like, oh, this is dumb. Yeah. We're doing it way wrong. But I don't know, man. If there's extra rules, I like the simplicity of it.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most appealing thing to me.
You should play more games with me. I have some games I think you'd like. You don't care.
Right. Maybe.
All right. Well, I think we've talked this out.
Yep.
Anyway, Settlers of Catan, really good game. I've played it a bunch. I'm Elden Killian with edotgdot and friends. And this is...
I'm Nick. Not a dork.
Not a dork.
Or a geek.
What's the... Board Game Geeks, the website.
I am not that.
You are not that.
Never been there.
All right. All right.
We good?
Live on the flip-flop. Need to come up with a tagline.
Where? I'm making a YouTube video, Bevs.